Vicky of the Whistling Woods, a story by Tiffany Dixon. Disclaimer, some of the images in this story could be a little scary for young children, so use discretion. Beyond the crooked little village, past the cobbled lanes and steep dirt paths, stood the old wood, where the trees leaned close together like whispering friends. Their roots were thick and tangled, their trunks covered in moss, older than memory. And there, between the branches and fog, something drifted. A shape without shape, a shimmer without form, a floating mist that hummed softly in the dark. That was Vicky, the ghost they called the whistle in the wood. At night, villagers could hear it, a long, low whistle that curled through the branches. They would shiver and whisper, "It's only the wind." But it wasn't the wind. It was Vicky, drifting unseen through the trees, singing her misty tune to the night. When she passed, the leaves shivered and lanterns flickered like candle eyes. At the heart of the woods stood a gnarled old tree, its trunk twisted like a sleeping giant. In its hollow lived old Soot, the owl, wise and gray with eyes like amber moons. He turned his head and called, "Who whistles through my woods?" The mist curled gently around his tree and answered with a shiver of air. Sometimes the mist drifted down to the old village. It wound through fences, floated over steep roofs, and peeked in at windows. A kettle would whistle before the water boiled. A cat would arch and hiss at nothing. Candles would flicker, then go still again. And from somewhere beyond the door came a soft, playful whistle. One night, the woods grew too still. Old Soot turned toward the valley. A low growl rippled through the trees. "Vicky," he hooted softly, "the wolves are awake." Their eyes burned like coals. Their fur was shadow itself. They prowled at the edge of the village, sniffing for the laughter of children. The wolves crept from the trees, soft as smoke, silent as shadows. At one cottage window, children slept. A wolf pressed its nose to the glass. Another followed, then another. Up in his hollow, old Soot saw everything. He spread his wings and hooted once. "Vicky, the little ones are dreaming." Then came Vicky's answer. Her whistle curled through the branches, and the air turned to silver. The ground turned white, covered in mist. The wolves blinked, and the world vanished. Then Vicky called the nocturnal ones. Bats poured from hollow trees. Foxes padded from their dens. Hedgehogs shuffled under roots. Owls joined old Soot on the branches. Together, they moved through the mist, silent and wild. Vicky's song grew louder, her silver breath spilling between them all. The wolves turned, snarling, confused. They saw the nocturnal eyes everywhere. They lunged, they snapped, they crashed, they collided. After he couldn't take the chaos of it any longer, old Soot lifted his wings. "Mercy, little ghost," he said to Vicky. and the whistle softened. Wolves scattered, heads down and whelping. Morning broke, pale and still. Only paw prints remained, circling the cottages, fading toward the trees. Old Soot blinked in the daylight. Around his tree, the night creatures settled, foxtails curling, bats clinging to bark, hedgehogs curling in moss. And when the tawny owl looked over the sleeping village, as children began to stir and coffee began to brew, the wise old owl fluffed his tired feathers and closed his eyes in peace, for he knew the children would live to laugh and play another day. Old Soot knew who kept watch over the little village. Vicky, of the Whistling Woods, keeper of the night, protector of the sleeping ones. The end.